Let's freaking go. There's so much to break down today in the LSU versus Ole Miss film study. Comment down below. What do you think is the biggest issue with this LSU defense? So, first thing right here on the 2nd and 8, we were just getting absolutely no pass rush. We didn't really even fire off the ball because of the play action fake, and we're just not really getting home anywhere, right? And he just has all day to throw. It's pitch and catch, and there's a cushion right here. Ultimately, though, I was fine with this, knowing how bad the LSU defense was. Let's make them make cross-field throws, basically just a quarterback counter GY to the right, okay? And they get a massive numbers advantage, right? There's 4 guys right here, linebacker flowing this way, and Dart is running this way. The issue is Harold Perkins does have an opportunity to knife in here and make this play, and he just doesn't. It's a really difficult play. Dart is a very solid runner, but man, you make that tackle right there, it is 4th and a lot longer, and instead it's a big run. And this is what Lane Kiffin does. So now you're loading the box. So if he sees that, it's an RPO, and he's just throwing this all the way. Okay, the issue here is this is 2021 all over again, okay? I did not think Lane Kiffin was going to get away with doing something called 2-for-1s, okay? I will link the film study from the Ole Miss game a few years ago, and essentially what I mean by a 2-for-1, he picked on the same exact player too, Sage Ryan, is you are running a semi-route with this receiver, but his job is to block the safety, and the nickel's job is to play man coverage against you, so you can essentially block 2 players with 1 receiver, getting a 2-for-1. So you see 11 right here, he's not even blocking Sage Ryan. Because Sage Ryan's in man coverage, he is going to run with 11. 11 is going to run directly at Andre Sam, and that way you get all this space, okay? The way it should work, all right, is obviously Andre Sam can't get all the way down over here. So Sage needs to see that this is a wide receiver screen a little bit quicker. It is hard to do it, though. Really freaking hard, okay? One thing I will say is if you're pressed up against him, it does make it a little bit easier to see these things. But Lane's just going to do this all day long. And you see, look at when Sage Ryan realizes this is a quick little screen to the left. It's all this space, okay? It's all this space. So you see 11's able to block Andre Sam. And this is just basically free yardage that we're giving him. And you know, Andre Stamps misses a tackle right there, and he's able to pick up a few extra yards. All right, so it's a red zone. Lane Kiffin tries to do the same thing. God, this is a really good play by Terrence Welsh. Look at this. He takes on this block from Trey Harris. And the funny thing is Welch has just not been a good tackler on special teams or on defense. I wish we would have seen more of these kinds of plays. He regressed sharply after these first couple of drives. Franklin, the transfer from UTSA, he didn't really play that much after missing that block. All right, I hate it when TV crews do this. I mean, this camera angle's too tight. It's impossible to see that Jackson Dart is actually throwing this football to a receiver down here. And this is really good coverage right here by Ashton Stamps. Not only getting on the guy, but popping the football loose in the process. And we're able to get a stop on 3rd. All right, really aggro decision by Lane Kiffin and a good one. It's tough to beat the LSU offense with just field goals, okay? This is where it gets tough, all right? This is just how it's coached. It is man coverage again. He's taking advantage of running man everywhere, okay? And this is actually a design, okay? So you get an orbit motion with their best player, Quinshon Judkins. So Dart fakes like he is throwing to the right, then he fakes like he's throwing over the middle, but honestly, this is just a screen the entire time for Judkins, okay? Now, there could be a debate here that the contained defender, Ovia Gufu, needs to run with Quinshon Judkins. It's a tough ask for the Jack to run with Judkins here, but midway through, he decides to not to. I don't know the coverage rules or basics, but Lane took advantage of this, and you see the man coverage defender was Greg Print all the way over on this side. He gets blocked off. Dart looks towards the middle, and then he works all the way backside to Quinshon Judkins. And this is one of those plays where you just kind of saw it the entire way, and it's an easy touchdown. All right, so today we're going to talk about keeping your feet, all right? I know it sucks that Jayden played absolutely amazing. This was definitely one of his best throws of the night, right? One thing that we have brought up repeatedly is Jayden does have a tendency to underthrow his deep balls. But once again, there could be a reason why he does such a thing, because Chris Hilton right here is wide open, and all he has to do is just keep running, okay? The ball goes straight through him. Now, I want to show you this really quickly. All right, so here's the New Mexico play. Chris Hilton is wide open, and there really was no need for him to fall down. Keep your feet, and you're scoring. Okay, Womack didn't get any defensive snaps for whatever reason, and there he was, showing Chris Hilton some love. Jake Flint in the squad right there. Very, very tough miss. Then it gets to this 3rd and 8, and once again, I think this ball was targeted to Chris Hilton. It's kind of tough to just know from this angle. Maybe he was trying to go to BTJ right here. Now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure he's trying to go to BTJ. Does this ball get completed if it doesn't get batted down at the line of scrimmage? Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. I think it probably does. But a nice play. Jayden also had a running lane, but we want him throwing there. And there's Chris Hilton making a pretty sick little snag right there. But now we have to punt. We get a great play right here by Major Burns coming off the edge on this blitz. Really good call right here by Matt House to get untouched pressure. And we get, obviously, a nice play right there. I still would like the corner to be a little bit more aggressive there. All right, so we get the ball in really good field position. And this is a really good bounce read right here by John Emery. It's actually a pretty simple one as well. I honestly think John could have hit this a little bit sooner, okay? You see, he's just trying to pause and wait. I think this could have been a little quicker, but still a really good bounce by John. And here at the end, we just need you to make this safety miss for some open field yardage. And he actually does gain a few extra yards, but then at the end, this safety just kind of throws him, okay? Still, good run by John. All right, so this is a 3rd and 8 fumble. It's really tough. I wish the camera angles just were not so tight. Just even a little bit wider, you could see if this corner to Malik was open. Safety does have inside-ish leverage, so this wasn't open to Mason. Obviously, Chris isn't open. There's a safety over the top of BTJ right here. So we want Jayden to make something happen with his legs. I actually think here, in the name of style, Jayden took a hit that I don't think he needed to take, right? We do need him to run and try and pick up these yardage, okay? And we want Jayden to continue to do this on 3rd and 8. So he's missing these tackles, but I do believe the good old-fashioned undershirt tug slowed him down just a little bit right there, okay? Does he get around this edge a little bit cleaner if they don't have anything to grab on right there? I don't know. I don't know why offensive players still do this. That does slow him down some, I think. And then that's where the big colossal hit happened. That's just a really good play by 3. I think it was a clean hit. And they get a nice turnover. All right, you be the judge. Do you think that slowed him down some? All right. I think just don't give him anything to grab right there. And maybe, you're not slowed down and perfectly squared up for, a hit such as that one.
We were in position. We didn't make the plays that we needed to make. I mean, those guys were either one-on-one or, in a position to make a play, and Ole Miss was better.
All right, so that was Brian Kelly, and I wanted to let you hear for yourself. Do you think it was more the players or the scheme, right? And Brian Kelly basically just told you that, yes, we were in positions to make defensive plays, but we just didn't make them. Okay, So this is after the JAYDEN Daniels fumble. And I want you to ask yourself this question as we go through this film study. How many of these plays is it just a guy getting beat? Right here, I just think it was a perfect play call and well executed. You get a nice explosive play, okay? This next one, though, is actually a really good defensive set, and we're just not making a play. All right, so for the rest of this film study, just answer that question for yourself, okay? We are in what I like to call tight front, okay? This is what Matt House did at Kentucky. This is what we did with Dave Aranda. 3 defensive tackles, essentially, playing the interior gaps. And this is what I said on Wednesday LSU should do more of. And they are running counter versus this, okay? I think we fill this pretty well. Harold Perkins does a good job cutting down this edge and playing Jackson Dart, okay? This puller comes around on Whit Weeks, okay? Now, actually, this puller had to pick up Harold Perkins. This puller, the tight end, has to pick up Whit Weeks. Now, we need one of 2 players to make this play. We need Greg Penn to make this tackle, or we need Major Burns to make this tackle. And the issue is Greg Penn does a good job eluding this guard coming off a double team. Truth be told, our defensive tackle here, I think this is Guillory. This is too easy of a wash this way, but this isn't really his responsibility. Greg Penn has just got to make this play, all right? And it's not necessarily making the tackle. It's at the very least slowing him down, and you'll see right here, it's the whiff of the century. And this is the backup running back, Ulysses Bentley. He's a year 5 player, so he's a really good football player. And then, to make matters worse, we have Andre Sam coming in here at a bad angle, okay? We need this to be flat to make sure he doesn't get the edge. And this is not LSU defense, and just running backs pulling away from us. It looks like we are lacking some foot speed here, and they score an easy touchdown. I mean, look, he is just hop, skippity, jump. I'm going to hop, skippity, jump on this LSU defense. He's high-stepping right the frick now. Come on. All right, another replay angle for you. Okay? He's losing his footing already. He slips, and it's just too easy. You see, if you get just a decent pop right here, like at least slow him down, cause him to trip himself up, Jefferson is making that play, or Major Burns is able to make that play. You've got to slow them down at least. All right, so we move ahead here, and this is just JAYDEN Daniels starting to cook. We're down 14-0 on the road, and at LSU, his comeback ability has just been nothing short of incredible. I think Lon had a stat, 9 double-digit comebacks or something like that. In-breaker right there to Malik Neighbors riding stride, and you get a nice explosive play. This is, once again, really good offense. JAYDEN sees that this linebacker is just tucked in too tight. It's man coverage. Look at where this ball is placed. Bang. Good, clean hands catch right there by Logan Diggs, who was, once again, fantastic for LSU. And we pick up a nice gain right here on first. And, once again, the irony of the slot fade being by far LSU's most explosive touchdown maker this year is that we were not really good at slot fades last year. Okay, we ran a lot of them with Kayshawn, and now it is just an unbelievable play for us. Look at where JAYDEN puts this ball, only where BTJ could catch it. I mean, just look at that. Perfect throw, perfect catch. And on slot fades, protection doesn't have to be immaculate, right? It's such a quick, deep, explosive pass play. So we get to this 3rd and 4. We actually bail Perk out right here, and we're bringing just a 3-man rush, okay? And once again, when you're rushing 3, dropping 8, there's just going to be somewhere for him to eventually run, okay? Just not really a whole lot you could do about this other than potentially, I don't know, having just a QB spy here. Because, like, it's man coverage across the way here. And there's just not really a whole defender right here to pick up this scramble. So easy run right there by Jackson Dart to pick up the first. All right, so this is a deep touchdown for Ole Miss. We're flat across the way here. We try to blitz Harold Perkins. It gets picked up, as you can see. And once again, you know, even if we had some kind of pass rush, this is just so easy for Dart that, he didn't really have to go through any progressions, really. He just kind of looked for his guy Watkins. And when it's this open, it's kind of hard to see whose fault it was. It just is, okay? And obviously Watkins is scoring here. All right, this is kind of a bizarre alignment. We have our safety split out so far wide. So Major Burns is on this opposite hash, and Andre Sam is on this opposite hash. And remember, he picked up the vertical. So this is just so easy for Jackson Dart to read pre-snap. It makes me think that Greg Penn was the deep center third right here. I don't know what this defense is. This is the most hot dog water defense I have ever seen. That is just abysmal, okay? Look, there's just nobody around him at all, okay? And it's just pitch and catch. Who is the deep third safety right there? Could we have just been in cover 2 and we had our safety split out that far wide? Maybe it was. Alrighty, so this was the roughest offensive line snap of the day. I honestly think this was just a butchered call somewhere. We miss Malik right here. Jayden just had absolutely no chance, and he had to eat the sack. He just did. So this is why I think this was a missed call. We had, obviously, Will Campbell blocking down and Garrett Dellinger blocking out this way. Very weird. And then on the opposite side, on a rollout to the right, you would think Emory Jones is going to roll out and take on this defender. He also blocked down, and on both sides, we actually just kind of bump into each other. It's very weird. So this ended up being a sack, and Jayden had to eat it. Now, I want you to remember this, okay? All right, this is just quite simply one of the best quarterback draws from any QB. And obviously, Jayden's had a ton of them. Joe had an absolute ridiculous amount of just clutch QB draw calls. But this run just is ridiculous, okay? They get upfield. That's exactly what we want on a QB draw. But with Jayden, I mean, just to turn on the gas like this, okay? Remember, up to this point, he's already been decapitated. And he is running through DBs. He is running through linebackers. He is running around safeties. And 5 here barely got the angle on him. Barely, okay? That is just absolutely insane speed right there. Freaking insane. What a run. So eventually we pound this bad boy in. Good run by Logan, just pounding the sucker on in there. And, we obviously get a nice touchdown. That wasn't an easy run by Logan, but he scored. Good stuff. All right, 3rd and 7. We line up a little bit late here, but all we're doing here is playing man. Okay, there is a deep safety who you can't see, and it's just man coverage across the way. So eventually, you'll see Ole Miss is running mesh. Mesh is the ultimate man coverage cover 1 beater. So they call an absolute perfect play, and I'm going to show you why. Mason Smith actually ends up getting some good pressure up the middle, but because the running back decided to leak, we lost our contained defender, which is Omar Spates. So Omar Spates is having to run with Quinshon Judkins here. I do think Greg Penn is a little too far deep right here guarding these mesh routes, all right? Now, what you don't see here is the mesh does its job. It is supposed to create traffic over the middle, and you'll see that the man responsible for the tight end actually gets decapitated by his own guy. Watch this. Boom. Okay? So we tackle our own person because, once again, mesh, you're running into each other. All right? So that's why this tight end is this far open. I do think in this spot, all right, once again, Savion Jones just gets blocked way too easy right here on the stunt. Get off a block. He's getting doubled right here, but we need you to get off somebody and help. Obviously, at this point, Greg Penn's got to come down right here, and this is why this tight end is this open. Okay, we're just running into each other out there. Once again, a very good man beater. All right, so we get another 3rd down situation, and this drives me so crazy about the Madhouse defense. We oftentimes have too many players doing the same exact role. This has happened a lot where we have two contained defenders when you don't really want that to be the case. Right here, we have Major Burns, we have Omar Speights. This should be pretty simple. There's only one running back to this side of the field. So it's either that is your man or that is Omar Speights' man. Okay? But what happens here? Okay? They both go for the running back. All right? So the goal of this for Jackson Dart is to actually hit Quinshon Judkins right here on the rail. Okay? So guess what happens? Quinshon Judkins already scored a touchdown on us. We have Major Burns and Omar Speights play the rail, and they're guarding the same guy. And guess what happens? Harris just sits right there at the sticks. Okay? Now, how should this have been guarded? Well, I don't know. It's kind of like a screen and roll, if you will. Okay? He's setting his screen, and then he's rolling right here. We have Terrence Welsh. You can see he's confused. Where am I supposed to be going? Now we got three guys all the way over here, and this is just simple pitch and catch. Now, I brought this up in the live stream. Terrence Welsh just is not really that physical of a player. We've seen it on special teams. Bang! You do have the opportunity here to stop him in his tracks short of the sticks. His back is turned to you, okay? So get there, bang, all right? But he just doesn't have enough here to get the job done. I think I don't know. And we allow him to wrestle forward for the first down, okay? And then we get to here, okay? Once again, they're doing what I wanted them to do. This is not quite tight front if you ask me, but it's a variation of it. Our three interior guys are there. We have two edge defenders. I'm not a huge fan of a five-man front hardly ever, but here we go, okay? Once again, just a lot of traffic. We got guys just kind of running into each other. It's man coverage across the way. Love the idea of pitching this. Okay, first thing, look at all this surge up front. All right, look at all of this. All right, still, Wingo gets around here, and I'm just going to show you the end zone angle here in just a second. And he just kind of squirts out. So what are we doing here? All right, we are running a twist, okay? It's not a clean one at all, all right? We're slanting Savion Jones right here from this 4-eye technique all the way to the A-gap, okay? The issue is we have two guys now guarding the A-gap. All right, Mekhi Wingo is sitting heavy right here. It looks like he's playing a head-up nose. I do think this is a missed assignment. We just have guys running into each other just way too often. So Wingo does a good job not just sitting here and getting off this block and just finding somewhere. But now we have two guys in this gap, okay? So Quinshon Judkins does a good job pressing this. But look at what happens here. It does get a little muddy. Mason Smith does have a chance to come over and make this play. He's not able to do it. Now we have guys just running into each other, playing patty cake, and it's this play yet again, okay? Once again, our assignments are just way off, and it looks like a defensive line that just isn't playing well at all right now. This Ole Miss offensive line got bullied last week by Alabama. They have struggled. Tulane gave them a lot of issues. So once again, this is the third down, all right? And it's the same thing. It looks like we're playing man coverage here, all right? You can just kind of tell when our backs are turned. And we might just be playing split field coverage. So we're playing man coverage on this side, and we're playing a variation of quarters on this side, okay? So, you know, this, I don't want to get all into Saban's Rip Liz principles and all of that. That could take forever, okay? Whose man should this have been right here? I don't know, but this just needs to be communicated, okay? If we're playing man coverage across the way, all right, this probably isn't as bad of a bust, but it's clear we're playing zone here, And does Ovie Oghoufo need to pick up this player? I don't know. It's a good job, though, by the quarterback to see that the blitzer is coming from right here and that this space is going to be deoccupied. And that's all that essentially happens here, okay? I don't know what it is. This is on Matt House. This is on Kerry Cooks. This is on Robert Steeples. This is involved everybody who's coaching the back seven. You can't have guys walking in like that. You just can't. It reminds me of Ole Miss in 2021. All right, so Ole Miss's defense was just better than ours. It's just we had a quarterback who played just unconscious football. I mean, this is just tremendous stuff. On the 2nd and 3, Ole Miss actually calls a really good defense. They're calling a twist stunt, and it's basically unblocked pressure coming right up the gut. Jayden sits right there, takes that hit, and look at where this ball is placed. Look at that. Over this zone defender right here, right in Malik's stride, and that allows Malik to do Malik things after the catch. Okay? You cannot, it is impossible for a quarterback to have had a better snap right there. Impossible. They had a really good defense, and good offense just always beats good defense right there. 2nd down and 9, and look, their secondary, we want them doing this, okay? They're playing so far off of us. They're on their heels. They're very clearly spooked by our receivers and Jayden at this point. If they want to give us this all day, we're taking this all day. Malik catches it and falls forward for an easy, easy, easy first down. And then once again, it's slot fade, okay? Jayden knows he's going to BTJ here the whole time. This is just a nasty route, okay? Look, BTJ sells like he's going to the inside, and then he just floats over the top. Look at where this DB's hips get turned, and that's just excellent ball placement right there by JAYDEN Daniels. As you'll see right here, I don't think he could have thrown a better ball than that. Hits him in stride, and BTJ is getting up close and personal with some LSU fans sitting in the corner right here. There you go, Lakin. Get yourself a good shot right there. There you go. She's like, oh, my God. I was texting someone, and he was just right there. Oh, my God. And she's like, oh, good. I want to see what this shot looked like. Tag me, bro. All right, you want to know why Terrence Welsh has not played a whole lot of football? And he made some really good plays in this game. It's because he's just not that physical of a player. All right, it's 3rd and 6. I know you're in man coverage. You have got to know where the sticks are. You have got to play these sticks, okay? We call a really good pressure right here by Matt House. This is really freaking good stuff. We get Sage Ryan on a running start, and it's unblocked pressure, okay? Now, you notice Zy Alexander here is a little bit closer to these sticks. He's pressing up on it, all right? And you see Terrence Welsh is on his heels, and it's not like this route was just crazy. It's not a crazy good route right here. He's kind of rounding this off, so he really did not do a good job selling vertical. So in this instance, bang, right here, you have got to be pressing down hard right here to come up here and make this tackle. But he's late to react. And guess what? We actually get pressure up the middle too. So we need, this has just got to be tighter. And it doesn't help that our corner at the top of the screen also slipped here. Okay? This is just not good. Okay? Their outside receivers are just having a field day, and you've got to make this tackle. You just do. But if you miss the tackle, give me some kind of resistance. Nope. What is that? What is that? This was an instance where you've got to, I'm against diving unless you really need to. You've got to at least slow him down. Somehow, some way slow him down. That is just too clean, all right? And there's nothing really Greg Penn could do about it. He's in man coverage guarding his guy, so he's late to react. And now it's just off to the races. He slips. We struggled with our footing a lot tonight. So because he slipped, we miss a tackle there. And this honestly ended up being a really good play by Andre Sam, taking a good angle and forcing them to execute and eventually kick a field goal. He also almost stripped it there at the end. So you'll see it right here. You're on your heels. It's hesitant. And you see he looks at him make the catch. And then, what is that? I mean, what is that? Right, so Savion Jones drew a holding penalty. And obviously it's 3rd and long right here. I want you to remember this play. We're going to be coming back to this one a little bit later. Jackson Dart throws a comeback route. And this is what we want, okay? It is 3rd and 12. We want them running comeback routes 4 yards short of the sticks, okay? I'm not the biggest fan of diving for the legs right there. Just wrap him up, make the tackle. He's got no forward momentum really at all. On a comeback, this is not a good opportunity for him to cut up field. So just run up there, wrap him up, but at least Zy Alexander does make this play, and we forced him to kick a field goal. But remember this a little bit later. All right, here we go, 2-minute drill. And we're just playing pitch and catch with BTJ. Brian Thomas Jr., if you sign up for Patreon, you get to see all my player grades. Spoiler alert, just giving y'all a little something on the free. BTJ was by far my highest graded player in this game. This was a masterful wide receiver performance. And not only does he catch his comeback, he also catches it so clean and gets upfield that 6 didn't even touch him. All right, so we run a lot of smash, okay? Essentially what smash is we are reading this defender, okay? If this defender runs with BTJ, we're throwing this underneath to Logan Diggs. As you can see, this defender doesn't do that, so Jayden knows he has the corner out. All he has to do is throw this bad boy on time. There's going to be a safety breathing down your neck. We get that right there to BTJ. He's able to get upfield and then get out of bounds as well. And then we get to here. We're throwing slot fades to everybody, okay? Even Kyron Lacy, all right? One of the best catches on the season right here by Kyron. But this is just, I mean, you can't play quarterback any better than that. I mean, you can't. Like, this is Aaron Rodgers to Devontae Adams level stuff, okay? They were the best at the slot fade. That is absolutely absurd. This actually ended up being a really good route by Kyron, okay? Look at him sell with this right foot that he could potentially go vertical, and bang, he's got 9 turned around. Very underrated route. Good job by 9. Some good recovery speed. 9 is also the one that dropped the game-sealing pick. Okay, and 9 actually gets his head turned around. And then look at that. I mean, just look at that is so absurd. Like, you in order to have an elaborate handshake like that, you got to really enjoy being around each other. That's good stuff. 3rd and 10. This is what I would have liked to have seen more of with LSU. Perk as the edge defender and then have an extra jack in there. Who gives a rip if they run on us? But Perk was really good at getting to the edge and actually beating the puller to Jackson Dart, okay? This is a huge play too, okay? Big momentum shifter to not only get the tackle for loss, you also got it done quickly, and you're able to call a timeout quickly. That's just a ridiculously good play right there by Harold Perkins, and we get the football back. All right, no other way around this. This was just a massive, massive, massive drop right here by Kyron Lacy. And this is, once again, really good quarterbacking right here by JAYDEN Daniels. Will does a good job riding this guy essentially just out of this play. So now we need Jayden to roll out to his left and just find somebody open down the field. And he does that exactly that. Does a good job fading away from, that defender. And this ball is right there. And you could see it was already slipping out of his hands. You catch that, we're immediately in field goal range. Okay, once again, this is just really, really good quarterback play again by JAYDEN Daniels. Okay, they're running a very exotic pressure. Okay, in dropping out, they're bringing this blitzer, and they're bringing a second-level blitzer right here. And we do see it late. Okay, it does look like Miles Frazier looks right, and he sees it coming, and he still lets it go, and then he's like, okay, I do need to go pick this guy up, all right? So Jayden is able to get around both of these pressures right here, and really there's nowhere to go. This is just excellent stuff by BTJ to just find a window right here. Still, that is ridiculous that Jayden had the audacity to throw it back across his body and find BTJ right there for a nice, huge gain. All right, this is really bad defense right here by Ole Miss, and we're able to take advantage of it. They're playing this far back. We just need a few yards to kick a field goal here, and this is actually really good stuff by Jayden. Let's just hit this underneath route. BTJ has got to pick up the first down right here. Okay, he cuts back on this DB right here, and I am a little shocked by this. Okay, once again, we were slipping. We have slipped a lot and lost our footing a lot away from Tiger Stadium. It is very interesting. Now, should BTJ have just kept running right here, would he have gotten more yards going that way? I have no earthly idea. If he gets tackled right there, though, that is absolutely a massive play. We do fall forward, though, and we do get in field goal range right here. Now, next thing. It looks like that's 7 seconds. Okay, they do stop it. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so he's down right here. Okay, he's down right here. 8 seconds. All right. 2 more seconds roll off after he's down. Okay? So I went back and I've actually listened to this a few times. The whistle began blowing at 8. Okay? Give them a little bit of leeway. It should have at least been 7. Now, LSU is spiking this no matter what in this spot, and you do have to be decisive to get the field goal unit out there because you don't want to delay a game penalty because it is a long field goal. But does that change things? I don't know. I don't honestly think so. I didn't agree with BTJ's decision right there to cut back, but we do spike it. All right, snap is good. Of course, it's Slade Roy. Hold is absolutely good. And he just is a yard or two short. I mean, it doesn't look like he missed it by that much, right? Looked slightly short. Bam! I'm looking at you. Yes, you right now. Cheer up. There's always tomorrow, but we're going to get into the second half. Sometimes our film studies do get demonetized, so a Venmo or Cash App goes an absolute long way. I've been up all night pretty much putting all of this together, and I still have a whole half left to go. Logan Diggs was just fantastic, okay? Only had a long run of 13 yards, but he was just so good at just picking up just whichever yards were there, okay? Just a good job just getting vertical right here, and we pick up a nice first down. Early in this drive, Ole Miss had a face mask penalty, which obviously helped out, and we are just churning, baby. First down, and once again, it's just hard for me to see if anything is open. Is this open right here to Malik in this window? I would say so. I can't really see. Yeah, that's open. So, yeah, that could have been thrown right there, but I'm perfectly fine with him. You know, if they're going to give you these yards, take them. Just take them. You know, obviously, if we're down by a lot, we probably need Jayden, you know, to start making those throws. But, man, he is such a beautiful runner of the football, and we pick up an absolutely massive gain, and we get the late hit penalty. Okay.
What do you want from Wendy's?
Oh, well, what does Wendy's even have?
Cheeseburgers, Carter, real basic.
Oh.
You want the Baconator?
This JAYDEN Daniels scramble, colder than a frosty, baby. Look at Jayden. It doesn't really look like anything is open. You could see we're trying to run a slot fade here with Malik Neighbors. Just not there. It's just not. So Jayden decides to tuck and run this bad boy. There's a safety right there stopping this slot fade. And, God, this is just so good. It really is just so good. Could he have hit a check down right here? Yeah, he could have. But you could also do this if you're JAYDEN Daniels. Good job by BTJ getting himself back into this play. And, he almost scored. Absolutely crazy. So now we get to the quarterback sneak here on 3rd and goal, and it's pretty clear we are doing a quarterback sneak. Now, this is what I love about a quarterback sneak. It's nearly unstoppable, and there's a lot of stuff you get away with. The first thing is the placement of the football. Okay, you see where the football is right here by Charles Turner. Now, I want you to see this very slick move he does. He scoots it. The ball is on the goal line. All right, you see, the ball is in the end zone. You can see the black line get formed right there. Okay, you can't really see the stick. You can see the stick is closer to the 1. The ball is on the goal line. The second thing is we get away with a very blatant false start here by Miles Frazier. Okay, is it really a false start though? It is clear this defense jumped right here, okay, and that caused Miles Frazier to jump. I just think this is such a tight scrum that they're just not going to call anything, and it's just anything goes, okay? Still, good push right here by Josh Williams, always a heady player, and we get in. All right, so we get our first lead. This LSU defense just is not heady. Like, we just don't have good football IQ. And I hate to say that, right? Our contain just gets blown here, okay? I don't know if Harold Perkins is a contained defender. More than likely it's Sage Ryan. He gets sealed to the inside. This is the easiest bounce read right here for Quinshawn Judkins. Now we just need Major Burns to come up here and make a tackle. This is actually Andre Sam. We just need him to make a tackle, and he does eventually, but it's after a big gain there on first. All right, so on 3rd down, and by the way, we do pregame, halftime, and postgame shows, and we normally do the first drive of the 3rd quarter, and we actually did the first couple of drives. So I did this drive right here, and on the stream, you heard me say that on this play, I would blitz. The one thing that I would do differently, though, and you're going to see this with the Ryan Yates play. This is actually a really well-disguised blitz. It looks like we're just playing straight-up cover 3, single high. You can see he's backing off into here. He's backing off into here. The issue, though, is we bring both blitzers coming off the A-gap, coming through the A-gap, and look at this. Boom. We are nowhere close to getting home. Like, their offensive tackles just dominated us all night long. Perk's nowhere close. We're just nowhere close. I feel like we're not very nuanced as pass rushers. Perk's go-to move has been the ghost move, and teams have just kind of figured it out. He really doesn't have a whole lot of counter pass rushing moves, and there's a ton of really good pass rushing coaches out there, and that just makes you predictable. We're just like not even close here. And either way, this is an easy read for Jackson Dart because, well, Florida State in 2022 actually killed us with a lot of this. Just a tight end running to the sticks, sitting there right over the middle, and that's pretty much what happens here. And because, well, we're not the best tacklers, Sage just gets mauled there, and he falls forward for an extra basic 7 or 8 yards right there. All right, 1st and 5. We did not do a good job with the quick pitch. Why were we so bad at guarding the quick pitch? I don't know. Ole Miss runs this a lot. This is all over their film, okay? And for some reason, we never adjusted to it. Now, it's difficult because you're running basically counter GT. So you're thinking that it's potentially a run to the left if you're the linebackers, but no, it's a quick pitch to the right. Okay, so you see Greg Penn stepping over here, having to play these pullers, and then honestly, it's just a foot race here between Ovie Agufu and Quinshawn Judkins, and they were just getting the edge on us all night. Omar Speights took an absolutely awful angle right there. And that also cut Agufu's angle off. And they pick up a huge gain right there. Huge. All right, so this is one of the instances where Matt House out-schemed Lane Kiffin. Okay, now remember earlier in the game they ran mesh, and they got an absolutely massive play out of it, and we had LaTerrence Welsh and Andre Sam running into each other. So Matt House says, look, we know what you're doing. We know you're going to run shallow drags here on 3rd and 12 and longer. Okay, so you see this time, we are so far off that we can't run into each other, and they're running mesh, and there's just nothing. So we want him to throw this right here because we'll just corral and tackle him. So this is how I know Lane did a really good job of scouting. This play is just dead from the start. So Jackson Dart makes the good decision to just throw a 50-50 ball. We've struggled to make the 50-50 reps. So he actually ends up throwing a good ball here. Mason's legs just were not there in the second half. He did get yanked down pretty bad. That's a bad miss on the hold right there by the collar. So good job by Mason. And this is just a really good play by Zay Alexander. I know he doesn't turn his head, but he did a good job getting his hand right in the middle right there. And he actually almost picked this off. God, it's just really good cornerback play right there. All right, this was one of my highest graded Jayden reps. This is definitely a top 5 throw to me. It doesn't look like it, but God, this is such a good RPO read. We're showing counter GY to the left, and Jayden's job right here is just to count the players in the box, okay? You see 5 guys at the line of scrimmage, 7 with a safety shaded there, with this DB having outside leverage on Malik. You'll see Jayden makes a late decision to pull this, and not late in that he's not on time. He just waits till the very last second to get back and rip this ball, and God, it's just such good quarterback play. And the good thing about this is, in this situation, if Malik is able to somehow make that guy miss, he's gone. Okay? Really good stuff. Really, really good stuff by Jayden. Holy crap, it's good stuff again. This time, it's just a handoff all the way. There is no RPO tag off of this. Okay? It's just a run. And now Logan Diggs is one-on-one. Our running backs have been brought down too often by guys in the hole, and Logan Diggs just makes the guy miss. Okay? Really good stuff breaking that tackle. And now we're cooking with grease here. We get to this 3rd and 3. I thought this was a good opportunity to take a shot, but anytime we get Malik in the slot, once again, that's where I like Malik Neighbors playing most of the time, in the slot. We hit him right in stride. Malik's going to be mad he didn't make that guy miss. Still, good offense. This is such an interesting play call. We're so Malik and BTJ heavy that we actually roll out to the right where it's Kyron Lacey and Mason Taylor running a 2-man route, and we're still cooking. Okay? Both the DBs decided to play the flat there. The only thing I would say about this is this ball is really well thrown, and I know Mason Taylor is hurt, and he's playing a lot of snaps. He didn't need to fall here. So keep your feet. If you make that guy miss, you're scoring. Still a really good throw, really good catch. And you can make a case this was the best drive of the year. I mean, it really had a little bit of everything, and it ends with a very physical run right here. Doubles all across the way right here. You get a double team here, double right here. Mason Taylor had such a good game blocking versus Ole Miss, and he had another good game blocking again. Okay? And, God, this is just so good right here by Logan. He does such a good job pressing a hole, seeing where the defender's going to go, and then cutting the other way. So he sees that these defenders, are starting to go this way, and he instead decides to run right behind the buttocks of Mason Taylor, and he's just able to slip through here. He's just so much guile as a runner. Very creative. All right, so our coaches make 6-figure salaries and more. Defensive coordinator makes millions. This is a combination of multiple, like this play right here just has everything that we have talked about all in one play, okay? So we talked about the quick pitch. They're running the quick pitch off a counter GT, okay? Counter GT action to the right to hold these backside linebackers, quick pitch to the left. We're not getting aligned and getting our calls, right? I feel like Denver Harris just kind of plays for himself, right? Like Sage is, you could tell, saying, hey, what's our call? What am I looking like? The communication is just kind of nonchalant. Now we're looking at this receiver trying to figure out what's going on. Bad communication. Okay, so far, quick pitch, bad communication. Then it's the 2-for-1 again. It's the 2-for-1 again, all right? You're in man coverage, so the guy you're in man coverage runs somewhere else to block somebody else, and you're late to react to the quick pitch, okay? So now look at all this green grass to run through, okay? Now, maybe if you're Savion Jones here and you've seen this counter GT action a gazillion times, what I would have done if I was a defensive line coach is say, look, don't crash down. Don't squeeze down at all. Your first step, and you're taught as a defensive lineman, your first step should be to squeeze down the counter. Okay, that's why Lane is so good at this quick pitch. That's why he does this. It should be the opposite. Your first step should actually be flat if you see the guys pulling away from you, because you've seen them run this play a gazillion times on tape, and then again. So, and by the way, we have the same guy guarding the same gap again, all right? 2-for-1, it's just everything all wrapped up into one, okay? And what's crazy is I prefer they do this than throw, okay? That's how bad it is. I prefer them running the football instead of throwing, because they're just not going to have as many of the explosive touchdown type of hits. And then this happens, okay? Use your brain, please, okay? Don't do this. If you're Denver Harris, don't do this. He's out of bounds, okay? So he's a step out of bounds, and then you decide to hit him. And the only reason this is not a penalty is because you didn't hit him clean, and then you end up hitting your own guy. What's the point of even sticking your shoulder in there at the end? It's just we're not playing smart. We are not playing smart. This was the same. It's one thing if it happens on the first drive of the game, and then this happens. It's simple stuff. I have never put a headset on. I've never put a headset on. Okay? Now, it's 3rd and long again. Okay? 3rd and long again. He has hit the tight end a gazillion times on these 3rd and longs. Okay? We have got to be aggressive here. We do. All right? They're scoring on us anyway. Once again, nonchalantly getting the calls in. Okay? We're just kind of lollygagging, watching, and then again at the snap, he is looking at him instead of the guy he should be guarding. All right? So once again, it's the same thing. We're 20 freaking yards back of the line to gain. Be aggressive right here. We got to stop. We're getting off the field, and we could score and put them away. But no. Instead, we're just running off. Okay? Now, this is asking a lot because we can't do the basic stuff right. I would have loved to have seen this, okay? You have got vertical help over the top with this safety, all right? It is clear we're in some variation of 3, okay? Your deep third is here, deep center field, and you got deep third here, okay? If Sage Ryan knows that this single high safety is over the top, okay, what he could do here is poach, all right? And what poaching means is, yes, your responsibility here should be to carry with this vertical, but you can also, in this situation, see that the likelihood of this tight end running a deep out right here is also very high, especially considering our linebacker here has heavy inside leverage. And once again, this is asking a lot, but your eyes are to the quarterback. It should have been pretty clear at this point that he is throwing this football to the tight end. Once again, this is a really, really, really difficult play that only high-level defensive backs can make, okay? So we're obviously not making that, but I'll tell you this, that's kind of how McLaughlin got us last week, okay? A high-level turnover machine defensive back can make that kind of play, Jackson Dart makes a good throw, all things considered. This isn't the worst coverage right here by Greg Penn, but they pick up the first down, and once again, we have a chance to tackle him short of the line to gain, and of course, we're not going to make the play. And what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing right here? This is the line to gain stage. This right here. Fly in here and make a play. Fly in here, okay? If you weren't, first off, late getting off that vertical, you could have come in and smoked him right here, and he would have been short. But no, let's just let him roll up the field. What is this? What is this? Video's getting pixelated because my breath is very hot after the Baconator. So it's 3rd and 4. At the very least, so we're making them earn these yards. Okay? We blow this play up. Good job right here by Braden Swinson. The next stop, though, is getting off this block and making a play. Okay? We just stuffed this. Good stuff by Mason right up here in the middle. Once again, the only thing I would say about Mason is, and we saw this was in the Mississippi State film, I do think he gets a little too worried about winning a fight, a battle with an offensive lineman. You should have already shedded this block to try and make a tackle. But still, he did a good job holding point of attack. Everybody did right there. And that's a nice physical stop to create this 4th down. Now, this next play, Lane gives us an out, okay? This was probably, to me, his worst play call of the night. Now, it worked, okay? It worked, but that doesn't mean it was actual good process. Jackson Dart is killing us. And we're in a situation here where there are no receivers. Now, it is a little interesting that Ulysses Bentley is the edge guy, so you do have to, factor that in. And this tight end, of course, has been killing us all night. But once Jackson Dart motions right here, we know that he's not getting any type of handoff. This should not fool a damn soul, okay? It just shouldn't, all right? So guess what? It's a direct handoff. And he has a long way to gain. This is a deep snap. So all we need is just somebody to knife in. We obviously have a numbers advantage. This is a awful play design, if you ask me. Okay? And guess what? We get exactly that. We get people in here knifing in. Jacoby and Guillory was selling out to stop this. He blows this play up. The issue, though, is he gets a little too vertical. All right? Once again, shed that block and find the ball carrier. Okay? This offensive lineman is not going anywhere. All right, I think he could have gotten a little flatter right there. Next thing is the right end on this play. Savion Jones gets a little bit of a late jump, and the double team actually blows him all the way back here to Plaquemine. Okay, that's a little too easy to open up a pretty wide open gap. Very difficult play. But the issue here is Sage Ryan again. He's got a chance to make this play. He does a good job actually shedding a block. All we need is just a clean hit, and he misses, okay? He's flailed out right here, and he's just cooked, all right? The one thing you can do is you can over-penetrate yourself out of this play, and that's exactly what happened. It's really difficult to do. But if he was a little bit flatter, he could have been right there to make the stop. But really the mistake was made by Sage. Guillory also misses. Jones eventually gets back in, but they get the first down. We've got to make that stop. We just do. In this instance, once again, going back to what Brian Kelly initially said, how much of it was guys being in the right spot to make a play but not making a play, and how much of it is just not good scheme? This is good scheme. We have plenty of guys here to at least get a piece and stuff them, but we just don't get it done, right? We just don't get it done. If Wing goes in there, does he maybe make a play? I don't know. All right, so now it's 1st and 19. We're in tight front, okay? Once again, I like the decision by Matt House to run this front, okay? I just like it. The issue, though, is you do lose some foot speed at end in this situation. So we have 3 thicker players out here, and we're just getting nothing out of our pass rush altogether. It's the same thing with Harold Perkins. I'm very shocked that this has just not been really brought up at all, okay? If you get even right here, okay, you don't want to keep drifting upfield. Now, he does do a good job eventually finding his way back. The issue is this double team on Paris Shand was so dominant that it kind of cut Perk back off to get back into this play. Okay? This just needs to be better right here from Shand, if you ask me. If you're taking the double, I don't know. It's just not good. Still, we're trying to keep pass rush lane integrity. All right? The only downside here is when you spin, you lose sight of where the quarterback actually is. So he's, you see right here, Jefferson's trying to spin back into this play. He tried to flail his arms to draw a holding call. It's not holding. It's not holding. It's a good no call. Also, here, if you're Guillory, if you're rushing off the edge here, you're just not really getting anywhere. And ultimately, you have to two-gap this rush lane right here, okay? With a right-handed quarterback in this situation, I would prefer him bounce out this way instead of stepping up into this gap right here. So he tries to get the edge through here, and he's too even by now. And then it just opens up this huge gap. What I would have preferred to be done here is just sit. Okay, just sit, and if he scrambles, disengage and just find him. But in this case, you don't just want to get upfield and guess what? Pass rush lane integrity is just all out the window, and we are nowhere close to making a play. Okay? Now, once again, I don't have the all-22 here. Of course, Sages is just not in a good position. Very late to react to this run right here by Dart. You can see Whitweek's trying to do something. And we're just late. We're just late. And once again, Greg Penn slips again. Notice how many Ole Miss players aren't slipping. But we're slipping. Okay? Both sponsored by the same school, so I'm guessing we had the same products. And then, I mean, come on. We got a quarterback who runs a 5.3 hurdling us. And now they're just toying with us. By the way, we're winning by 8. They're just toying with us. Okay? Good RPO read. They throw in the direction of the blitz. Tip your hat. That's just really good offense against a call right there. And, of course, we're not making tackles. We just could not bring guys down. I have counted. I'm dead serious. Straight from the heart. I have counted 5,678 missed tackles by the third quarter. All right. So, it's the same thing here. It's the same thing. It's just understanding what they are trying to do. All right? Now, how does this happen? We're late once again. They are doing a better job of looking at each other than being ready for the snap. This was a little bit better to get ready and get the calls in, okay? But the thing is about this is, yes, they are going really fast, but it's not a whole lot of motion. These calls could be getting in quicker, so we're flat-footed at the snap yet again. Next thing, this is not hard if you're Savion Jones. It's not hard, okay? They are so good when they do these kind of handoffs right here, all right? They're so good at getting around the edge, okay? Now, I don't know how much a defensive line knows a linebacker call, but in this instance, contain is so important. It is so important because you have a blitzing backer right here. Your nickel is all the way back here, so you can't get beat going to the outside. And I would have made this adjustment if I was a defensive line coach. Every single time that they pull the guard and the tackle on a counter GT look, stop. Don't press down. Don't squeeze down right here. I know that's what every defensive line coach tells you to do. That is what you're supposed to do. But don't squeeze. I would have already made that adjustment, but we squeezed. Okay? I would have just stopped. Okay? Once they do it, they're just going to get around you every single time. Okay? And the second thing about this is we actually had a stunt to the left side being called. So, once again, the same gap is being taken up by two guys, and we're just running into each other again. And we're not even close, okay? It's not – look, I'm not asking Savion Jones to beat this running back here. Doesn't matter if it's Quinshawn or Ulysses Bentley. I'm not asking him to beat him in a foot race. All we need to do in this situation with them running horizontal is just provide some resistance. Force them to have to go all the way around you. And then we can have guys coming from the backside to help you out. But no, we're just getting vertical, and it's just that simple. Green grass, okay? And then, of course, you know, we're going to lollygag and just get absolutely mauled right here. Boom. Okay? Just tackle somebody clean for once. Oh, come on. You know he's getting in. Touchdown. Now we get to the 2-point call. Once again, Lane just getting a little too cute on these short yardage. Okay? The goal of this play was to fake like you're throwing right here and then hit the tight end. Oh, man, it was there. God, it was there. He just didn't throw it. Man, that would have been a big play if they had lost. Oh, man, that's there. He just didn't throw it. That was very shocking. So we get bailed out right there. Could that have been deflected? I don't know. Good job by Savion working his way back in and bringing him down. And a good tackle right here by Whit Weeks. Clean tackle. Good stuff. All right, so it's inevitable that Caleb Jackson's going to end up being one of the best running backs at LSU. I understand that there is a group of people out there that say, hey, first play of the game, why are we not just handing it off to him? We're asking him to make a catch rolling out to the right side. We have had true freshman backs in the past struggle making catch. Our true freshmen just in general have struggled to make skill position plays. In the passing game, we've had a lot of them make drops. I mean, could this have been delivered a little bit sooner by Jayden? Yes, but once again, this is not Logan Diggs. This is not a player he has a lot of chemistry with. You just got to have this guy be Logan coming off the bench here. I can understand this is a longer drive and you're spelling Logan. This has just got to be Logan right here. It's late. The ball is late, okay? And eventually we do get to Caleb. You still got to catch that. I mean, you just do. It's a huge, huge, huge drop right there. All right, now we get to the second down right here. And, oh, man. We're running the split zone here with Malik. And we decide to just hand this off here. I think Jayden was spooked a little bit by Malik slipping. This could just be a handoff call all the way right here by Mike Denbrock. But, man, if we just pull it right here. Now, this is actually one of the few instances where, well, no, I don't think 99 would have caught Jayden here. He did get around pretty easy on Will. Not the worst rep by Will either. And we're running this all the way. If we just pull it, there is no defender right here for Jayden to read as well, really. If we pull it and just hit Malik right here in the flat, I mean, he's gone, basically. Get to this 3rd and 9, he's in the neutral zone. I mean, you could just, I mean, he's right there. He is leaning into the neutral zone. Okay, that's a clear shot of it. And you just don't really pick up on those things until you actually rewatch the game a few times over. Okay, and then he actually stepped offsides. He was already in the neutral zone, and then he also steps offsides right when the ball is snapped. Okay, he's a QB spy, and they're actually bringing a twist around here. It looks like they have everything covered here. It looks like we're running, some verticals here, hitting anything deep. I don't know what route concepts are being run behind this. Jayden, I think, probably should throw this football to Kyron, but this guy is in this window right here. So at that point, we do have Logan Diggs just leaking out here. It's kind of a tough way to see it. So he didn't have a place to run. Was there something open deep? I don't know. but Jayden takes a sack on a drive that featured a play on first and second, and a good job by Jayden. Once he started losing the football, just eat the sack, live to fight another day. All right, here we go. It is 2nd and 10, and once again, we are in tight, okay? So Harold Perkins is the jack, and we have 3 interior linemen to stop their run. And this time, we actually have a stunt right here for Harold Perkins to cut to the inside, and Whit Weeks is now the new contained defender, and this is dead to rights. Look at a good job right here, Whit, squeezing this down. We just need Greg Penn to step up here and make this tackle, and it was just an abysmal game by him. I mean, there's just no other way around it. This is perfect, right? You can't defend this, honestly, any better. You just got to make this play. So to Brian Kelly's point in the postgame press conference, this is just a huge miss against their backup running back. Perk did a good job, and once again, he's going to give some ground in the running game. That's just, the trade-off right there. This is and once again, it's not that you missed the tackle, it's how clean the miss was. No resistance at all. And Major Burns misses a tackle. A little more resistance. Perk misses a tackle. And finally, Andre Sam, who's holding on for dear life, and there wasn't any fancy jukes or anything like that. That's just us just whiffing, okay? Now, I want to point this out right here. They said Lane isn't calling the plays. Immediately, he is in his play sheet right there. He's calling the shots. We actually just stuffed this. Look at this play right here by Mekhi Wingo. That's excellent, okay? Now, this is what I'm talking about, not over-penetrating. Actually, no, this is Mason Smith, excuse me. All right? God, that's so good right here by Mason. Playing the straight head-up nose when we really need it. Look at this, what he's doing to the center. That should be illegal. I mean, it's that dominant. God bless. And he stuffs him, all right? He doesn't over-penetrate. And, I mean, Mason, God, great play. Now, once again, disengage. The play's over. There's no benefit of you wrestling him to the ground. So 4th and 5, LSU just should have done this more, okay? Play straight up 0, okay? Flat line 0 across the way. So there's nobody back deep. Finally, Matt House makes a really good decision. This is my favorite thing about running 0, okay? A lot of people don't like to do it versus mobile quarterbacks. It's actually been one of the more effective defenses in pro football versus Lamar Jackson. Or I just remember a game versus the Dolphins when they ran 0 versus Lamar, I think like 20 times or something crazy, or it was something like that. Still, here's what I love about 0, which is cover 0. That means it's man-to-man everywhere. It's your man versus the other. It is impossible on cover 0 for there to be a coverage bust. It is impossible because it is man coverage everywhere you go. There's no passing off. There's none of that. This is your man. This is your man. This is your man. This is your man. And when you're blitzing versus a 5-man protection or even 5-man protection, there's always going to be somebody unblocked, okay? And Ryan Yates is coming unblocked. And believe it or not, Sage Ryan actually is beat right here. But Ryan Yates makes this play. If he works inside out, you could see Watkins right there saying, oh my God, I would have had him. Still, this is just a really good play by Ryan Yates to get his hands up in the air, and we get a huge stop. Just a great call right here by Mike. Remember the last Jayden sack? We had everybody going vertical, and then Kyron was on the drag. Well, guess what? Mike Denbrock came back to it, okay? Obviously, they're running man coverage with safety help over the top, okay? And right here, a really good man beater is always going to be a shallow drag, okay? Or at least it looked like man coverage. It's impossible for me to really see that. And Kyron catches it, breaks a tackle, and gets upfield. BTJ murdered a man down here with this great blocking. And Kyron almost got through there for a tutty. 1st and 10. Once again, I know I'm doing a lot of remember this, but this is one of the worst offside jumps I think I've seen. And now Jayden does, he's done this better than anyone. Obviously, last year against Florida and then against Arkansas this year. And, man, this is just a really good decision by Jayden. Throw it up to BTJ, one of the best jump ball receivers in college football, and just let him make a play. And there he is, okay? Look at that. Look at this catch. I mean, he is getting pushed out of bounds to catch it and then still get a foot in bounds. Excellent stuff. I know they reviewed it. We can get into a debate of whether or not that should have been overturned. It really was 50-50, and I want to make this point before we get to the final plays here. We caught the lucky breaks in this game. I truly do believe it. I know that clock at the end of the first half, and there's a few others mixed in there as well, but BTJ has had a lot of bad luck on overturns, on like 50-50 calls like that. He finally gets some good luck on a nice touchdown. All right, this is the lowest individually graded play for me on the season from any player. And initially, the biggest play of the year was that Kyron Lacey drop versus Florida State. There wasn't really a close second. It was just one person making a mistake. This is another example of it. You have got to make this play for Denver Harris. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let the play just run out. And then we're going to go into a deeper breakdown of everything that I think went wrong with this play. But while this actually happens, we're going to do a few callbacks here at the end for some things that we talked about early. Okay? That just looks like a basic missed tackle, but it's more than just a missed tackle right there. It is a calamity of bad football IQ. Okay? So, Kirby Smart is the best coach in America right now. Obviously, there are plenty of pregame speeches. This is very profanity-laced. I'm not going to play it, okay? But in the middle of him doing all this cursing, he said something in the middle that really stood out to me, and it's not relayed enough from football coaches to players. Now, I'm not in the locker room with LSU every day, but maybe Brian Kelly relays the same message. It is stay off the ground, okay? In other words, keeping your feet, kind of like the Chris Hilton play earlier. Unless you absolutely need to jump or dive, don't do it. Keep your feet, okay? Now, first thing, not a good pass rush in this situation. It is 3rd and 11, and it's honestly just a simple 5-man protect. These offensive tackles aren't getting any help. Why is Deshaun Womack not in this game? This would have been the perfect time to put him in. He's fresh. I think this is actually him over here just chilling on the bench. He's fresh. There's a lot of tired legs. Ole Miss ended up running 88 plays in this game, and our edge rush just was not there all night. Braden Switzett's had a really good year. He's ridden up past the quarterback. Once again, Harold Perkins ridden up past the quarterback. Nobody is getting anywhere close. Let's get back to the throw itself. It's a very good throw. But even though we didn't get the best pass rush, and we're running this blitz that really didn't work all night with Greg Penn, look at what actually happens right here. Bang. Okay? It is 3rd and 11. His back is turned. Now, you are on an island here, and this is easier said than done. But in this spot, you don't need to bring him to the ground. You actually don't even need to tackle him. You just have to hold him up. Because when his back is turned, he's got no leverage. Okay, remember earlier I told you I didn't like Zy Alexander knifing in right here? But it was a 3rd and long. If he catches it this far from the sticks, the one thing we don't want to do is jump or dive or just try to wrestle him to the ground. So what does Denver Harris do? He dives, jumps up into the air, grabs the worst part of the body you could possibly grab, the high shoulder portion, and you see how he catapults himself up in the air? And now he's just out of control, and by his own momentum and his own doing, he slips off. Okay? Now, once again, it's not necessarily that it's a missed tackle. It's just how clean of a missed tackle this is. Okay? You've got to slow him down more than this if he is eventually going to break through here. Or once again, if you just corral him and just ride him out of bounds, pause, he's not getting this, okay? And if he eventually breaks through, at least there could be some guys flying in to come help this play. All right, it's 1st and 16, and this time it's a quick pitch again, okay? And what do? We press it again. Now, this time with their quick pitch, they're not countering their guys to the left. They're actually pulling someone from the left to the right. This is what Lane Kiffin does such a good job. He'll run the same play but do it with different looks, okay? And he will also run different plays with the same looks. He does a really good job of that, okay? And once again, it's a down block. The running back is to your side, okay? We don't need you to press down right here, okay? Until they do something otherwise, don't press down. Don't squeeze this down. Play the pitch, okay? Just get as flat as you possibly can, but that's not what we do. That would have been at least an adjustment to see if that worked, okay? And make them counter off of that. Still, that's just a very, very easy run right there on 1st and 16. All right, 2nd and 7. This is what a lot of you guys brought up to me on Twitter. Why do we play so far off? Once again, it's the same thing here. We're still trying to get our calls in. We're super late, and we're not really looking at the snap, okay? Little RPR here. Jackson Dart sees how far off. We're just going to take this. At this point of the game when we're not stopping him, okay, I can live with that. And once again, his back is turned, and we're late pressing down on this, and all we need you to do is just corral and make this tackle. Now, at least Stamps didn't just fly in and just miss it altogether, but at least, we were able to get him out of bounds eventually. And then eventually on this 2nd and 4, they're able to pound it in, and what should have been a stop earlier this drive, or a stop on 4th down earlier, they pound it in, and they're just riding our guys, into the end zone. Okay? There's another run after this, but there's no point in showing it.
He was terrific. I mean, he threw some incredible passes. He dropped some passes in there that were just terrific. And, obviously we got some great momentum. I mean, I would have liked to have a couple of plays back. We had – look, you could put it all on the offense and say, listen, if we convert a couple of drives there in the second half, we win the game.
So I understand Brian Kelly, what he just said right there sounds just crazy. Wait, our offense is to blame for how this game actually ended? Well, that's not really what he said. I had to cut the clip a little bit shorter. It was kind of a long answer. He said if we would have just executed a few more plays offensively, this game would have been us. And the truth is, Jayden fell apart on this final drive, okay? And we'll get to all the plays right here. 1st down, really good decision by Jayden to pull it. And this is obviously the split zone play that we have run a gazillion times to Mason Taylor. It's probably one of our best success rate plays. Now, also want to point out, you guys saw a few PHL patrons. You get access to my Discord. And I already posted a variation of this film study, this portion, last night. So you get early access to certain videos and breakdowns and all of that. And you get to support this venture. I know it might be the Baconator talking. But obviously Mason Taylor gets hurt right here. All right, so we don't have Mason in. Mac Markway is in the game. All right. If my backup tight end is in the game, I want less pressure on him. And when there's less pressure on him, we want to pull it, right? Because his blocks just don't have as big of an impact on the play than if we just hand the football off, if that makes sense. So on 1st down, Jayden has a very good pull read right here. Okay, this end is very clearly crashing down here on Logan Diggs. Good pull read by JAYDEN Daniels. And now all he has to do is make this guy miss. Guy takes an overall pretty good angle, and we're able to pick up a nice gain on 1st. And then this happens. Very critical to point this out, okay? There is a huge injury right here. This causes a lengthy pause, and This is very important information. All right, so there is a stop in the action, and then we get to this play right here. Now, before we actually run this play, all right, and this is, once again, the second down play. So this is after the zone read play. The first mistake here is running this play with only 28 seconds left to go on the clock. Normally, in a hurry-up situation, our offense is cooking. I don't really care about the clock. If it was less than 2 minutes, you definitely want the clock to bleed down. But in this scenario, I'm actually okay with just snapping the football at this time in the play clock. But in this case, I'm not, because there was a stoppage in play, right, to tend to the injury. So if there is a stoppage in play, there is no benefit of actually hurrying up to the line of scrimmage with 28 seconds left to go on the play clock here. What LSU should have done when they got to the line of scrimmage is just wait and go through your motions here with like 15 seconds left to go on the play clock. I understand why you want to run it, because you don't want your linemen and everybody to stay in the stance this long. So in this case, what Brian Kelly should have done is told the offense, hey, let's just run this play with 15 seconds left to go. And they had time to discuss this on the sideline. The second thing is the actual play itself, okay? Right here, bang, I don't know this play call. I just don't, okay? If this is a handoff to Logan Diggs all the way, who's having a massive half, now it is a really good half, but his biggest yardage gained up to this point is 13 yards. Jayden has a ton of 13-yard plays. I think Jayden needs to pull this right here. Now, I don't know if this is a pull read. I don't. Maybe this is a handoff all the way. But if we pull it, the game's over. You hit Malik right here in the flat. He is probably scoring. I trust him beating number 3 right here. That is the only guy he's got to beat. Okay, this guy would have potentially chased him down if 3 would have made it muddy. But if we pull and hit Malik on the split zone right here, or even if Jayden pulls and just runs it, that's how hard they sold out to stop Logan Diggs. And what makes this a little less inexcusable is they sold out on the play before. So right there, and a good finish by Will here, especially with the backup tight end. Okay, we don't have Mason Taylor on the field, who have been blocking really well up to this point. That makes the decision to hand it off even worse, right? But if it was a handoff all the way, I get it. Now, we get to this third down situation, and this time we actually do let the clock run all the way down, and we elect to burn our first time out. It ends up being a huge timeout. In the close half, in a close game in the second half, you'd want to only use your timeouts as a time-saving mechanism. But that's not what we do. We're using this to call a perfect play. And what do we do coming out of the timeout? We called the absolute perfect play. We're going up against Alabama's former defensive coordinator, Pete Golding. Now, what do we know about Pete Golding? He didn't stop the biggest play of the Brian Kelly era, the rollout to the right side, and instead of Mason Taylor, we got an even better receiver running this. It's Malik Neighbors running this to the flat. Okay, now, I've told you earlier, and I'm just going to go ahead and run this play while I chat in the background, that our rollouts have not been good. Okay, remember we had a sack on a rollout where, a guy off the edge came in and sacked because we had a miscommunication. We also had some other issues on some rollouts in this game, and we also had some rollouts where we actually completed it, okay? It's there. Y'all, you can't be more open. You can't ask really for anything else at this point in this game. You have your best player in this game, and you have your best receiver right here. And the thing about it is the play call was so good, it was so open, that even after the double clutch right here by Jayden, he could still rip this now. He could still rip it now, but he doesn't. This is the most bizarre Jayden mistake in his career. It's bizarre. He has played a near perfect game up to this point. near perfect. And that, and normally it's the opposite for JAYDEN Daniels. You see Brian Kelly here is disgusted. I will hear this argument out, and I did actually hear this. I won't say who, but someone in the know at LSU would say this, okay? Well, JAYDEN's playing so well up to this point. Why do we cut half the field off here and really only give him one option, right? He had done such a good job, going through reads, making amazing plays and all that stuff. Why do we run a play where it's not JAYDEN making the play, but it's the play design making the play? And I can hear an argument out for that, but you just got to throw this, y'all. You just do. That's a first down, and there's just nothing else you can do. You just got to eat this sack. And you also you can't just throw it away because you lose the equity of the clock bleeding afterwards, even though the clock's not really a factor in this situation.
Consideration of going for it on the 4th and 7 after the Daniels sack in the fourth quarter?
No. Too far. And we felt like you even saw, we had a couple other opportunities, right? To score, and we did. And
it's a really good question by the reporter, Koki Riley, right there. Once again, actually, if JAYDEN would have thrown it out, it would have been pass interference right there. You absolutely mauled Malik Neighbors. Okay. So Brian Kelly is right here, and he's watching that unfold. They know that play works, and he's right there. That's one of the plays from your vantage point. I know it's tough to see if you're a head coach, but that's a play you can just see happen very clearly, and it also happened right in front of the bench you're coaching. So Brian Kelly's probably a little shell-shocked right here. Now, I am going to issue an apology to Brian Kelly. I flamed him in the post-game press conference for punting here. I do want to clarify one thing. Obviously, Brian Kelly is just shell-shocked. Another thing that's kind of difficult about going for it here on 4th is there was a huge pileup right here. Okay, so that just eats up more time compared to like if just a guy gets brought down in the open field. It just takes 2 people popping up, and then everybody is already essentially back at the line of scrimmage. In this situation, because there was a pileup, it does take a lot more people to get back to the line of scrimmage. But coming out of a timeout, Brian Kelly should have been prepared to do this, okay? I have softened my stance on not going for it, but I still feel like on 4th and 7, he should have gone for it there. Your defense can't stop anyone, and all they need to score is a field goal. That's it, okay? I think he should have gone for it, but that right there, JAYDEN making that mistake, maybe Brian Kelly is saying, look, JAYDEN has been so great up to this point, but on this drive, he made 2 questionable decisions, especially that last one that we know 100% that was a really bad decision by JAYDEN to eat that sack. I can understand him saying, look, let's just punt it away. Our quarterback, for some reason, just did not play well on this drive. This is the major mistake. And this mistake happened versus Arkansas, and I emphatically called it out at the time. I'm going to do it again, and I'm shocked that more teams can't fathom to do this. All right, I understand it's 4th and 7, but if you're going to take the delay of game penalty here anyway, try to draw them offsides at least once. Keep in mind, Ole Miss has already jumped offsides this half. Hell, they lined up offsides, and they didn't call it. So if you try to draw them off sides, guess what? You might succeed and it be 4th and 2. Or if they don't actually jump, guess what? You're taking a delay of game penalty anyway, okay? So in that instance, he still should have at least had the offense stay on the field. But no, we all rushed off and then rushed back on. Like we were already knowing that we were going to punt the football here in that final drive. 2 massive mistakes made by the head man himself. The first is on the 2nd down play, not bleeding the clock all the way down. And then the third, at the very least, not trying to draw him offside. All right, so we do decide to punt the deep scoring, okay? That's why I don't like the punt. All they need is a field goal here, and they've got a really good field goal kicker. Just a rough punt. Now, I did tweet they should have gone for it before this drive actually happened. Okay. Mason Smith just had no gas. I mean, on first down, the first down rep wasn't it was actually a little tougher than this one. He's just out of it. I mean, you could just kind of see that it's just not there at this point. I would also say up to this point, we have run 80 plays. 80-plus plays. That is a lot of plays to play on defense. We ended up running 88 in total. So that's why I wanted Jayden to just decide the game, even if it was 4th and 8. Once again, we're not lined up correctly. And, look, they're running the football, and they're able to because they have all 3 of their timeouts. And once again, we're just not filling this run well at all. Once again, Mason just has nothing. Wingo has nothing. Sage Ryan is kind of just floating around the atmosphere here. And this should have been a tutty if Quinshawn could make this one guy miss. Okay, you can see Sage is just kind of ball watching right here. And, they're playing with no confidence, no fight. And yeah. All right, so 2nd down and 8. Let's give Mekhi Wingo a lot of credit here. This is a huge swim move right here to get to the quarterback. I really wish this wasn't just a throw all the way, quick throw right there, because Wingo could have had a huge moment right there. Back shoulder throw. It's actually not the worst coverage. Not great coverage either. And they pick up a nice gain. Okay, once again, we're struggling to line up, and we decide to run a blitz. And, I mean, we actually have them outnumbered here, okay? All right, everybody's getting blocked right here. We just need somebody to make this play, okay? And Yates is out there. And, Denver Harrison making that play. God, this is a good job by Andre Sam making it tough right there and at least slowing him down some. But at this point, we want them to score, okay? And the game is practically over here. 1st and 10, and this is just a simple IQ football play right here. We're bringing the house. Love the decision to do that, but they're just throwing quick. And guess what? Once again, we have them pretty much outnumbered, okay? Got Ryan Yates right here going head up against a really good player in Fred Harris. He slips. It's kind of a nasty move right here, okay? He slips. He's not, and then once again, Welch, no resistance, juked. And we wanted Harris to score here. I think, all right, so they like to go for 2. It's just a simple little handoff right here to Judkins, okay? And Whit Weeks, God, this is an amazing play. He's able to knife in there, force that missed block. We just need Savion Jones to get him up high and not let him go through there, and he whiffs, and Quinshawn's able to score. All right, here we go. Can we get some Jayden Daniels magic here? He has been absolutely amazing. The only bad drive he had was the last one, okay? And look at this. We start off with a very simple little drag route right here to Chris Hilton. Now, Chris Hilton, uncontested, is a really good football player. It's just when people are on him, he's not really that good. But here he breaks a massive tackle, and he's able to get upfield with his speed. And there was a second here where I was like, is anybody actually going to catch this guy? And eventually 5 does, and they push him out of bounds. Really, really nice run right there by Chris. 1st down, and it's yet another huge drop right here by Kyron Lacey. We're just running like a simple little out. And right here, this also wasn't the best ball by Jayden Daniels. This ball has just got to be delivered high and in stride. The pocket is absolutely clean. And Kyron did have to go down to get it. And I'm glad he did drop it, but that's just got to be completed. And Kyron just runs straight out of bounds. 2nd and 10, and yeah, obviously, this is just not good quarterbacking right here by Jayden Daniels. We're essentially running all verts here, okay? Everybody's going vertical. Chris Hilton just gets eaten alive right here by this corner, okay? Once again, just no separation, no nothing. And we also get beat really bad right here. Emory Jones, who I thought had a really good game overall. So now Jayden has got to roll out to the left. Obviously, he prefers to roll out to the right. and he resets his feet and decides to throw this, it's somewhat across his body, and yeah, it's just forcing it. Our better receivers are on the right side of the formation, so you get rolled down to the left, and I mean, that's bad. Good stuff by BTJ, though, making it a difficult pick. 3rd and 10, really, really good decision right here by Mike Denbrock, okay? I know a lot of people weren't on fire about the quarterback draw. We're running the same play again, all verts, okay? And I like the quarterback draw because, they're obviously not expecting it at all, and this gives us just a better opportunity. We know it's going to be a positive yardage play. We also know we have 2 timeouts left, so we have to set ourselves up for a potential opportunity. And 11 right here just panics and bails us out here with the horse collar tackle. Absolutely absurd decision to horse collar right there. So after the horse collar, we do have 2 timeouts left. I obviously did not like this play call right here. I just, in this situation, would not have run an all-or-nothing kind of play here. And just in general, tight end wheels, out and ups kind of plays just have not been good plays for us. So first thing here is with all these players playing back, we're just kind of locking in on this player. And we're looking at Logan Diggs pretty much the entire way here. So where you're locked in that much, even if this wheel, Logan Diggs does have him beat right here, but because Jayden is so locked in on Logan, this allowed this safety to just be sitting right here just waiting for this, okay? Now, all things considered, it was actually a pretty good ball. Logan did a good job getting in the mix right there. I would like a wider angle to see if this safety was just sitting here just to begin with. Because if he was, I would have preferred you just throw this football over the middle to Malik Neighbors right here. Because you have 2 plays, and we could have worked the middle of the field. All right, so we commit a false start penalty. It took us a while to get this snap off, and Malik leaned. And now we get to the final play. Obviously, crazy video right there. That was Ben Mintz. He was with Hold the Mayo, baby, my favorite content creator. And, yeah, absolutely crazy day I got to spend in Oxford. I wasn't able to stay for the game, but the chance to go to the Ryan Russillo live show and hang with Van for a little bit was definitely very fulfilling. And also, very, very fulfilling 24 hours. I had to drive back and host a breast cancer fundraiser. It was an absolutely crazy weekend. So, believe it or not, there is a benefit from the penalty, okay? The benefit here is, well, Jayden got to see how they were going to defend this, all right? Now, we are 5 yards backwards. I'm not saying the penalty was a good thing, but to the right side here is Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr., okay? This defensive formation tells you everything about our LSU passing offense, okay? These 2 guys carry it, okay? Because you see, you have not one, you got kind of a overhang, over here, but you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys to guard these 2, and you've got 3 guys to the field, which is more space to cover these 2, okay? Now, that tells you everything you need to know about who our go-to guys are. I love that because Jayden immediately here sees that this isn't going to work, okay? We're running a little bit of a scissors concept. So Malik is running a go here, and we're actually running, a late go over here to the right side. And what you'll notice on this play right here is nothing over here is open. There's not a whole lot of space to actually fit any football in right here, okay? Everything is just guarded. You're just throwing this football into heavy coverage, okay? But we bring it back to the left side, okay? And this is actually the side that Jayden is looking to. Now, don't worry about the protection. We'll get to that in just a second, okay? So we get to the left side, and you notice it's honestly just 3 guys to guard 2. Chris Hilton is a good receiver if you give him a free release. Jayden is looking here, and it actually seriously looks like he is getting ready to fire this football in, okay? And if he did, bang, okay? I think that that's probably getting broken up by this safety if Jayden decides to throw this here, okay? Not entirely sure. They are far back right here. So if Jayden would have ripped this thing, if he had time to rip this thing right here, you let me know in the comment section below if that right there would have scored. I don't think so, though. All right? And the reason why I don't think so is that there is a safety over the top of this player right here. So this guy would have had the freedom if Jayden decided to rip this thing to Chris right now. He would have been able to, he would have more than enough time to get downhill. And number 2 right here actually splits Josh right here. And Will kind of gets spooked that Josh just completely whiffed him. He's not even close, and 2 actually gets through easy, okay? Not good right there by Josh. If Jayden is able to step up right here, maybe with all his might, with time to throw, he gets that ball right here to Chris without having to pull a whirling Derbyshire. Or Jayden has time to throw right here, and he could step up right here if he had good protection and fire a missile in right here to Malik at the goal line. We should have had enough time for Jayden just off the jump to be able to throw one of these at the goal line. But because Josh really had a bad moment right there, Jayden does the right thing and buys time. He spins out of it. Will does a good job getting a piece. And now, after all of that, you really can't ask for anything better than this. Right up the middle, no pressure whatsoever on Jayden to throw. Like, for real, he can go either direction right here, okay? So he throws this ball, and look at where he places it. Like he did all night. He puts it right in Chris Hilton's grasp. Chris is probably jumping speed, probably our best athlete on the team, and it went straight through his hands, okay? All right, so we get the end zone angle here. And, yeah, I mean, once again, I said Josh Williams on that first cut. I meant to say Logan Diggs. I just don't know what happened there. So that was actually just a really good rush by 2, and the fact that they were able to get pressure in that situation is crazy. One more thing right here. I don't think a ball to Malik is ever getting completed right here. So even if Jayden had time, I'm not sure if he's getting that in. There's just so much traffic there. So Jayden also did a good job rolling out to the left. He looked to see if there was anything open to the right. There wasn't. And now he sees Chris getting into this window, okay? And he rips it pretty quickly, okay? And right here, you feel pretty good about your chances. Okay, all things considered, you feel pretty daggum good. And let's see. All right, that's pass interference. I guess you need to make this reviewable because you'll see that is not hitting the football at all. Now, was this simultaneous? Did his hands hit the football? No, it's already hitting the elbow before the ball even got to his hands. Now, the next thing I would say about this is you still got to catch this, okay? I understand I'm asking Chris Hilton to pull a DeAndre Hopkins here. This is a very difficult catch to make, okay? But like Robert Griffin III said, help Jayden out. Look, his hands are wide open. If this didn't happen, though, by definition, that is pass interference. If you do not impede his elbow, he's probably catching this football. But truth be told, even after his elbow got hit right here, he does have a chance to still bring this in. It's really hard. It's really, really, really hard. But still, okay? And Chris got a little banged up after this. I think he landed on his leg or something. God, this all things considered, once again, it's a really good throw by Jayden. Chris timed his jump perfectly, too. Sometimes in this situation, you could jump a little too early, but you see, he actually got this at its highest possible point. It's catchable. A very difficult catch, but it's catchable. So I want you to comment below. I want to have one more sleep if Brian Kelly should actually can Matt House. I'll give you my answer on these upcoming live streams. Let's go. Now, did LSU deserve to win this game? No. You don't ever deserve to win a game when your defense played as poorly as LSU's defense did. And when you look at LSU in the yards per play mark, you average 8.5 yards per play. Okay, just for reference, 2019 LSU averaged 8 versus Power 5 teams, and that was a record. I think only them and a Lincoln Riley, Oklahoma team got over 8. So getting over 8 versus any Power 5 team is hard to do, and LSU did that consistently when they had to. Okay, so obviously, if you are watching this on a premiere, I don't think we're doing a live stream tonight. This obviously took forever to cut. But the truth is, this LSU defense is an absolute abysmal disaster. Just so many different things. And I understand we all want Jayden to make the plays in not the final drive, but the drive before. You want Jayden to get that done, that rollout to Malik. But Jayden, that was a legendary performance. Definitely the best QB performance in a loss since Met in 2012, 2013. Just an all-time great LSU quarterback performance by JAYDEN DANIELS. Just did not get the W to go along with it. And that's not on Jayden at all, okay? But, yeah, there were plays to be made offensively there at the end. But and of course, special teams were at the absolute best. Brian Kelly wasn't his best. But the truth is, this is a good chunk on this defense, and it might not be fixable, y'all. It really might not be. It really is that bad. I've never seen something like this before. I thought, these nightmarish 2020, 2021 Orgeron defenses would be the worst. I didn't think that this. I'm as you can tell, I'm just bamboozled by all of this. But you do need to move on, get to the next game. If you do win out and Ole Miss loses to Georgia or someone else later in the year, you're still going to the SEC championship game. So still, like Brian Kelly said at the end of the game, a lot to play for. But God, I mean, this one really hurt. This one really, really, really hurt. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this. Okay, it is Power Hour LSU. Boom. And tonight we are doing Wendy's, of course. Let's go.